Good morning, guys, and welcome to today's vlog. I have been getting stuff all put together because today we are going to be doing a solo date at the park. I was originally going to change over my closet and do a closet changeover, but Summer decided to stay around for a little bit. I think a couple weeks ago, even last week, it was like 50s, 60s, highest was 70, 71. It was on the cooler side, and then all this week has been 80 degrees, 82, 83, and that's why I say summer is still sticking around, and summer is not ready to give fall its chance to shine yet. So because it's been, warmer, I thought to myself, let's take advantage of these last summer days where it's going to be hot, and let's go out, sit at the park, read, journal, just enjoy the fresh air while we can. So I decided I'm going to pack myself a sandwich, do some little snacks, give it myself a drink, and we're just gonna go and enjoy the day. And I've talked about it before, how I want to do these solo dates with myself to get out of my comfort zone and do things that I normally wouldn't do. And I think, again, this is something to push myself to go out, just enjoy the day by myself, and kind of have that solo moment. I did it the first time when I did the solo date at the beach, which was so nice and so enjoyable. And I said to myself, once a month, I want to at least try to do like a solo day with myself, because me and my husband are with each other all the time. So it's nice to kind of, again, get out of that comfort zone and do something by myself. So I am getting ready to pack up the lunch and get everything together. Like I said, I'm bringing my Kindle to read, journal, and then another notebook just to kind of jot stuff down. I've also just been in my own head and kind of struggling lately, which once we get to the park, I will dive more into that with you guys. I just also think I need this day just, again, to get out, be in the fresh air, and kind of just clear my mind. But we will talk about that more once we go out and we are heading to the park, or once we get to the park. So let's get to packing a lunch. It's about 9:34 right now, so I think around 10:30 I'm gonna head out. The park is not that far away from our house, but I'm gonna walk there, just have a moment in nature, and just be one with the outside world. So let's pack some lunch. everything is all packed. I kind of put my Kindle on the side. I put a little snack bar in there. And then because I'm just wanting to bring this little thing, I put my notebook up here, and then my other notebook I kind of just put in there. And then I just kind of threw some stuff in here, drinks, chips, and all that, but then I can carry this all together. So it's about to be at 10 o'clock right now. I'm going to gather a couple more things, and then we're gonna head out. I decided to just kind of sit underneath the trees in the grass. There is a pavilion right behind me that I was thinking about sitting at, but I thought let's just kind of enjoy the day and just kind of sit underneath the trees. So I did end up putting everything in a bigger bag just because I wanted, you know, it to be all together, and I didn't want like the notebooks and stuff to be in something that it might get wet. So I did bring a water bottle, again, my lunch, and I'm just gonna relax, you know, read, maybe do some journaling, and then I will kind of chat with you guys about how I've been feeling lately. So I've been here for about an hour and a half, and I just finished part 1 of Local Woman Missing. I saw this one and saw everybody like raving and reviewing about how good it was, and I thought that I would give it a read. I just got, I think, to part 2. I read through part 1, and I gotta say I am very intrigued. It is jam-packed full, just the first part. But I thought since I got to part 2, I would take a break, and I think I'm going to journal for a little bit before I talk to you guys. There's just a lot of things lately that I've been feeling, and I've had, you know, really down, depressed days, and I think that the part of the reason for coming out today was just to kind of get outside and get some fresh air and clear my head. And that's why I brought my journal, because I just want to kind of journal how I've been feeling lately and all the stuff that, you know, I've been going through. And after I journal, I will share it with you guys. I've been debating on sharing this with you guys or not, just because, you know, you don't know what you want to share, or if you share something, how people are going to, you know, react to it, or how people are going to feel. But I feel like it's just something that I've been feeling lately, and that I kind of want to share with you guys. There's like bugs flying around right now. but that's kind of how I feel. I, again, want to journal first and kind of get my feelings out that way. I've always loved journaling because it's a way to, you know, get things out and kind of think them through and then kind of release them. And sometimes it's not like you're always releasing 100% of how you're feeling, but I think it helps to release it a little bit. So I'm going to do that, and then probably while I am journaling, I'm going to eat some of the lunch I brought, and then we will chat after I am done doing that. So as you can see, I decided to move to the pavilion over here. My legs and my butt were getting really sore from sitting on the ground, and I was gonna try to journal with like putting this underneath and journaling, but I'm like, the pavilion's right there, walking distance. I'm just gonna go sit down and journal at an actual table, and I actually have my lunch out. I'm gonna eat my lunch while I journal, but I thought this would be definitely cozier than trying to sit and journal on the ground. Also, when I first got here, there was a gentleman over by the basketball court, and he came over and said hello. Of course, saw that I had the camera, asked if I did YouTube. I said yes. So hello to you if you are seeing this video. I know you told me your name, but I'm horrible with names, so I don't remember. But I always know that when I come out, that if people see the camera, they're gonna ask questions. I've never had anybody before, so this is the first. But again, hello, welcome to the channel. Again, when I come out, because these are solo days and this is my second solo day, doing like a day to myself, I'm always very aware of my surroundings and the people that are around. I think that anybody who travels alone or does things alone, you know, are very aware of what's going on around you. So, you know, I was aware when I walked up that I saw people here and everything, and I think also that's kind of why I distanced myself and kind of sat away from people, because I'm just awkward and weird, and, you know, especially with people I don't know. So sorry if I was awkward and weird. It's just who I am and how I am. So nothing to go against you. It's just kind of like my personality. I'm weird around people I don't know. But it's nice to, you know, talk to other people. And, you know, he said him and his friend do YouTube and vlogs and stuff as well, which is kind of cool to meet other people that do that as well. Because you always like know that there's other people that do it, but you're not entirely sure, or, you know, you sometimes don't meet people who do it, and there's a lot of people who will see you doing stuff like this and they look at you weird because you have a camera. But it was a neat experience, and I know that the more I get comfortable vlogging out in public, the more that people are gonna ask, and that's just how it's gonna be. So I'm going to stop chatting, I'm going to get to journaling, and then I will chat with you guys afterwards. So I just got done journaling. It's about 12:30 right now. I was gonna chat with you guys, but then a guy came and sat under the pavilion, and I'm like, I'm not chatting with you guys about what I want to chat with you guys about with someone sitting there. So we are now heading back home. I have to go to the bathroom as well. So I will chat with you guys once we get back to the house. Hello. So we are home now. I am happy I came home when I did because a little TMI, I had to go to the bathroom. And if I wouldn't have left, it would have been real messy. Mainly because I know that there's bathrooms at the park, but I am really weird about public bathrooms, and that was a no-go for me. And also, like I said, I was going to talk to you guys after I got done journaling, but there was a guy sitting, 2 tables away from me. Like right after I got done journaling, I went to pick up my camera and he started walking up. And then I'm like, okay, hopefully he'll just walk, just keep walking. But then he sat down. So I'm like, okay, I am not going to talk to my camera when someone is this close. Like, I am just getting okay with vlogging out in public, but talking to a camera when someone's that close, I'm still, navigating that and not comfortable doing that. So, I was out for 3 hours. By the time I got home, it was 1 o'clock. I got to the park at 10. It felt really nice to get out today, enjoying these last, warm days of summer. And I think that for me, since quitting my job and being at home a lot of my time, it feels good to get out. Now, me and Ken do, we travel a lot when we go to Illinois for birthday parties and gatherings and holidays. And, we did go on vacation this year to Vegas. So, that's getting out. But, like, I do spend a lot of time at home, content creating and, like, just being able to get out for a couple hours and, sit in nature and read and journal felt really nice. And again, I like these solo date days because I am somebody who's very independent with having somebody there with me when I go out, like Ken, or, I don't like being alone or doing things alone. And I like doing these days because it allows me to step out of that comfort zone and do something that I normally wouldn't do, and going somewhere by myself and having experiences by myself. And I think, like I said, from when I did my solo beach day, going forward, I'm going to keep doing that because I want to, again, get out of my comfort zone and do things I normally wouldn't do. And I think the more you do something, the more comfortable you will be. So, I'm just going to continue doing it, and over time, hopefully it'll get easier. But it was really nice to journal today. I haven't physically journaled in this little journal I got. The last date in this was from last year at the end of January, which is crazy because I used to journal like all the time. But then I think with the wedding last year and then with a lot of the stuff that happened this year, I just haven't sat down and physically journaled. I have, though, done like notes in my phone when I have really hard moments and I want to get those feelings out. I have, journaled wise in my phone, but there's something about like physical journaling that feels really good. Now, I have journaled, not in this, but in my baby book. I shared a reel, I think it was last month, talking about how instead of, documenting those special moments of, a growing baby, I am now taking that baby book and using it as a journaling form to journal to our baby who is no longer here. And that has also helped with the healing process. And that's why today I said, like, I didn't know if I wanted to talk about this, but I feel like I do, because I feel like as somebody who has gone through something so tragic like this and has had to navigate grief, I've had to navigate how I want to continue my YouTube journey and continue, being a vlogger. And I think for me, I've just realized that there are a lot of things that, as a person who creates content on the internet, that you have to decide what you want to share and what you don't want to share. And I think for me, back when I started sharing my Trying to Conceive series, we were navigating the fact that it was hard to get pregnant and that we, had to get on medication and just like everything that was going through that. And then, getting pregnant and then losing the baby and then choosing, to be, vulnerable and share about my miscarriage was scary and hard. But I've also, had to navigate life after the loss and the grief that still hits me today. And I realized that I've had to navigate how I want to continue on as a vlogger and to continue making YouTube videos. And I've just decided that going forward from today into the end of this year, into next year, I'm just going to share my life. I'm going to share the good, but I'm also going to share the messy and ugly parts too, because I feel like that's just who I am. And I think that for anybody who creates content or is a vlogger, you put videos together and these ideas together of things that you're doing and traveling, and like for me, when my parents came and hanging out with them and then decorating, and I want to put videos together that people are interested in viewing and people are interested in watching. And for me, I've just realized that a part of this journey for me is also deciding to share these hard moments. I have had, in the last few months, I've had to heal from this loss, and I've had to navigate what my life looks like now. And I've had times where I know I want to film and I would need to film to make a video, but I just am so depressed and I'm so sad and I don't want to pick up the camera. And I think there are a lot of us who create content that feel that way, where you have those really hard times. But I think for me, I've just had really hard times week after week. And I think also I've had to realize that, this grief I'm feeling is a part of my life now. And I'm going to have really good days and I'm going to have really good moments, but I'm also going to have really ugly moments and really hard days. And it's been really hard for me to navigate that. And I just think for me going forward with my channel, and I know that there's going to be a lot of people who don't like that and who fall off, which I'm completely okay with. I completely understand. Because when you come on YouTube, you want to watch, fun videos and uplifting things. But I think, to be honest, if I'm going to continue my journey, I just want to be me. And I want to share the times that aren't good. And I want to share the messy, because I feel like it just humanizes me a little bit more. I don't want to always show the good and the happy moments. I want to show those times where I just am talking like this with you guys and being open and honest and vulnerable. And I think being vulnerable online is really hard, but I've done that on Instagram for a long time, talking about my mental health and talking about those hard times and sharing the messy, that I think I just want to portray that now on YouTube. If I do it on Instagram, I want to do it on YouTube, because this is who I am. And a lot of people are going to like that. And again, a lot of people aren't. And I think that's perfectly okay. You get to choose as a viewer what to view, and I get to choose as a creator what to share. But I think for me going forward, I just want to talk about it. Since June, it's been really hard. And I've had moments where I think to myself, I'm going to survive this and I'm going to be okay and everything is okay now. And then, I see a picture or I see a post or I see a video, or even today at the park, watching these parents with their children. It really just pulls at my heartstrings, because I want to be a parent so bad. And knowing that I could be in a different spot right now than what I am is hurtful and it's hard. And I just think that for a lot of people who don't understand it, they want you to be okay. They want you to be better. And I don't think people understand that the grieving process you're going to go through takes way longer than you'd like it to. And I think that for me, I've had to navigate that. I've had to realize that this is what my life looks like now. And this is what my life is going to look like for the next year. And I'm just going to have to continue grieving and healing over time. And I think that there is going to be a time where it's going to get to be a little bit easier to talk about, and I'm not going to be so emotional. But I think only time can tell, and only time can heal. And I have had moments where I'm just like, I don't want to be sad anymore. I want to be over this. I want to be okay. But I realize that's just not how this works. And I think that a lot of people who have gone through something that was hard or tragic, or if you're somebody who has gone through miscarriage or have had someone in your life go through it, you realize that you just don't get over it and you just can't move on. And I wish that it was that way for me. I wish that I could be better, but it's been hard. You know, a little TMI, you know, my first period afterwards was very hard. Last month, I thought maybe I could be pregnant, and all the emotions and the feelings and the thoughts that went into that. And then when I got my period, again, going through the grieving process again and being sad. And I just have had to navigate a lot. And I just think that for me, I kind of want to just share that process with you guys as well. I want to share how I'm feeling and what I'm going through, and, you know, just be real to me, because this is what's happening to me and this is how I'm feeling. And, you know, going forward, again, this is me. This is what I am deciding to share, and I'm still going to share the really good moments and the fun times, but I'm also going to share those moments that I think, you know, people need to see, so they know, kind of, not know, but can connect to you more. I always feel like people who subscribe to my channel connect to me and they like my content because of who I am. And part of this journey is, again, sharing who I am and sharing these messy, hard moments. And to be honest, I've had to navigate being a content creator, but then also going through this loss and grief, and choosing to, you know, put these videos together where I'm not talking about this stuff, but going forward choosing to talk about it because it's hard and I'm having really hard moments. And I have, I think, healed a lot, but I think I'm still, you know, trying to figure out this new life I have and how to get through every single day. And again, there's moments where I'm really okay and I'm really doing good, and then again I see something that just triggers it and I just cry. And I think that's the healthiest thing to do, is just let it out and cry, because that's part of the healing process. And I also think for me, part of the healing process for me is talking about it. You know, I talk about it with my family and with Ken all the time in those moments that I'm feeling rough, and, you know, I just want to share that with you guys. You know, choosing to be open and honest and vulnerable online is very scary, but I've done it for a long time on Instagram. I've shared, you know, about my mental health, and I've shared posts that are vulnerable, and I just want to be true to me, and doing this is true to myself. And again, like I said, I know there's going to be a lot of people who, you know, you come for certain videos and you come for certain things, and maybe you fall off, or maybe you decide not to watch these videos, which is perfectly okay. Like, consume what you want to consume. But going forward, I just have a different, you know, way of wanting to use my platform and, you know, where I want to go with this. And again, I think that I have to be okay if I lose people, because it's not going to be for everybody. But I am thankful for everybody that has subscribed, every new person who's watched my videos, even if you haven't subscribed. Thank you for being here. Thank you for still being here. Thank you for choosing to come along on this journey with me through life. I just think that life is full of really, really good moments, but it's also filled with hard moments and messy, ugly life. And I have seen a couple of the people that I'm subscribed to, you know, show the ugly and messy and hard moments, and I myself like that because it makes me feel connected to them more, to know that they are human and that they are going through messy things and they're navigating life at the best as they can, just like I am. I have also been on Pinterest. I have been finding these inspirational quotes and these things about, loss and everything. And there was one that I wanted to share with you guys that when I read it hit me really hard. And it says, I think we often hear people saying, you will survive this. But we don't discuss enough the normal feelings of not wanting to survive when you are grief-stricken. So let me reassure you, it's normal to feel like you just want to die when your heart has been shattered by loss. It is normal to want the world to stop spinning so you can rejoin the one that has run on ahead. It is normal to not want to smile, to not want to find hope, and to not want to return to your previous life. So please don't be frightened. You are not crazy, you are grieving. You are just adjusting to a new world, a new life, a life where someone is missing and your soul aches for them to return. For me, that's so true. I've had to adjust to this new world and to this new life where even though I only carried our child for 5, almost 6 weeks, I am still missing them, and my soul aches for that time when I had them. And as short as it was, it still is very hard, and it's still heart-wrenching, because to think how far along I would be now, and just again, I think for me, just all the moments where I think of where we would be and what would we be doing and who they would have been and who they would have looked like and their personality and just everything that goes into that. I just think that people don't talk about, grief enough or loss enough, especially pregnancy loss and miscarriages. It's still something that is so taboo and not talked about. And I just think that the amount of grief and everything that I've had to navigate has been hard. And I have been one of those people who have said it to myself, you will survive this, we will get through this, it's going to be okay. But, I also know that I have to go through this, and I have to feel the way I feel, and I have to figure out what life looks like, and I have to go through this grieving process, and I have to, hope for a better future, and hope that one day I can get pregnant again and carry a baby and give birth to a baby and have my own children. But I also know that I have to go through those moments where I am anxious and nervous and scared to go through what I went through, and what if it happens again, and what am I going to feel like when I get pregnant again, and just everything that goes around that. And it's navigating, again, this world of grieving, this new world for me, this new life, this missing and the sorrow I feel. And again, going forward, I'm going to share it, because this is me. This is my life. This is what I'm going through, and this is what and how I feel. And I just think it's important for me to be true to myself and to, put out content that is true to me as well. And I think that, like I said, going forward, I'm going to share the good times, and I'm going to share the projects that we do and all this stuff, but I'm also going to share sometimes those hard moments and those messy life moments and those times where I am falling apart, because that's what I want to do, and that's my choice. Like I said, I am one of those people who have seen creators that I follow open up and, show those hard moments. And for a consumer myself, I like that, because I can connect to them more on a different, deeper level than always thinking that their life is perfect and everything's great and everything's going well, when that's just not how life is. So I know I've talked for a really long time, as I can see in my little, camera thing. It's been 20 minutes of just chatting, but I knew that I wanted to do this chat today. I knew just with how I've been feeling over the last month, and then kind of going out today and journaling and just being in nature and just, seeing the things I see in the world, like, I am changing. And I think over time my channel is slowly going to change, and I'm going to try new things, and they may work, they may not work, but I think for me as a content creator, I'm always finding out new ways of shooting video and putting stuff together and continuously growing as a content creator and seeing what works and what doesn't work. And I've always encouraged you guys to put input in, or if what do you want to see, or what things do you want me to talk about. And going forward, I'll continuously doing that, because I think the input from your subscribers and the people who watch you is really important, because you guys are the reason I do this. You guys are the reason I put stuff together. Part of the other reason is because I love it, and I love the feeling of it and how I feel, and being able to be creative and try new things has been really, really fun, and I absolutely love it. But I'll continuously and always say that I create for me, but I create for you. But going forward, I think going to create more for me, and again, show the good but also show the messy, because this is life. And for me right now, this is life after loss, and this is figuring out this new world and this new life that I have. And that is centered around grief right now. And again, I know over time it'll get easier, and I'll be able to talk about it, and I won't get emotional, and I won't cry. I will never forget. I think that's one of the biggest things too, is you never forget what happened to you. You never forget the loss of that loved one that is no longer here. And I do think that for people who have pregnancy loss or miscarriage, it is different. And again, I just want to talk about it more, because I didn't realize how many people go through it and how many people experience it, but how uncomfortable it can be to talk about it, and uncomfortable for people to hear. And I realize that that's okay, but I've always chose to talk about things that were uncomfortable with, like, my mental health and my podcast and just everything. Like, I'm just one of those people who want to be real, and I want to be honest and open and share things that are uncomfortable. And that's who I want to be. So if you choose to stick around and, still consume my content, thank you. And I will, see where the future goes and what I have to share with you guys. But I think from this day forward, I'm going to choose to create content for you, but also for me. And that is just sharing the nitty-gritty and messy parts of life, and being true to myself. So thanks for letting me chat with you for this really long time. Thanks for coming out and hanging out with me today as I did another solo day by myself. I'm going to at least try to do this once a month. I want to go out and do something by myself. I want to go try new things, and I think the more I do it, the more easier it'll become. But for right now, it's still nerve-wracking and scary, but I know that it's gonna help me also grow into the person I want to become. And I think even with this loss and this grieving, I've changed so much, and I am continuously changing every day into this new version of myself. And I want to look back 5-10 years from now and be proud of myself for how far I've come. I think that for anybody in life, that's one of your biggest things that you want for yourself, is you want to 5 years from now look back and be proud of how far you've come from the person that you used to be. And I just think for me, there's a lot of stuff that I'm navigating in life, you know, with what's happened and with content creating and just everything that I have as a dreams and goal for my life that I am constantly reaching for, that I have to kind of upgrade who I am and change over time. And I'm proud of myself for how far I've come. I'm proud of myself for how far, you know, and how much I've grown over the last like decade. I'm definitely a different person than I was starting in my 20s. I've grown a lot during my 20s and gone through a lot during my 20s, and I'm happy, you know, to be who I am in my 30s. And I'm happy to have a partner who is always there for me and who always continue to be there for me and be a rock through those, you know, times where I just want to fall apart and melt away. So, yeah. Thank you guys for being here, and thank you for subscribing, and just thank you. So I'm going to go, I'm going to relax, and I will talk to you guys again real soon in the next video. Bye guys.